Okay, let's take a look at Tkinter radio buttons. So radio buttons allow the user to select an option from multiple choices. So you could use it to make quizzes. If you have a settings app, you could use it over there. So let's create a new file called options.py. In this, the usual import Tkinter as tk, tk, then root is equal to tk.tk and root.main loop. Go to top, and now we'll have to create a variable for this, Tkinter variables. We'll call this opts_var, and we're going to use this to find the value inside our radio buttons, from our radio buttons. So firstly, tkinter.int_var, since it only returns integers. You could use string var as well. Double var won't work, but you can use string var, but you can use int var since you don't need to convert the data type to integer and then set the value. You can just directly set it as an integer. So we'll create opt1 is equal to tk.radioButton, and we're using int vars because we do not get the string, the value for our radio buttons, for our checkboxes. We don't get the value inside them, we only get the number. So firstly, let me show you what that is. Let's first enter the variable here, which is our opts_var, where the option should be set, and value. Now value can be 1 or 2 or 3. You have to start it from 1, just note that. We forgot to put a comma here. So if we click on this checkbox called opt1, the value in our opts_var, when we use value as 1, and you can't enter any data type except for an integer. So opt2 is equal to tk.ray. Let's copy this same text. We forgot to put our value, so or our text is equal to option1. So let's just copy this, paste it in here. Value is 2, option is 2. Let's say opt3 is equal to value as 2, value is 3, option as 3. That's great. Note that you can't have the same value, it has to be different. It should be in ascending order. So we'll have to pack all of these. opt1.pack, opt2.pack, opt3.pack, and it's main loop. Let's run this. So you can see we can select an option from here. So I can select any one of these options, and by default all of them are deselected. How do I find the value inside these? Well, it's simple. Let's create a button first, since after main loop you can't do anything but graphical user interface commands. So let's create a button. But1 is equal to tk.button. We'll call this root text is equal to find the value. Command will be and we have a lambda here because we're going to be using parenthesis. It's a print statement. Print and optsvar dot get. Optsvar dot get. So let's pack that. But1 dot pack and run this. So you can see here, if I say find the value, it's 0. None of the options are selected. If I select 1, option is 1, 3, 2, and that's why I said, since it's only returning integers and not option 2 or 3, we'd use an int var. You can use a string var as well. If you look at the radio button documentation, you can use a string var as well, but it's just easier to use int vars for this. So that's all you need to know about these radio buttons. If you want to set a default value, for example, you saw that nothing was selected. Let's set a default value such as optsvar dot set. We can set it to 1, and when I run this, default it's set to 1. I can change it to 3 or 2. 3. Let's change this and run it. You can see it's selected the third option, and then you can also associate a command with these. Command that should be executed when that option is selected from a different option. So for example, if you are on option 2 and then you click on option 3 and you have the command parameter here, then the command that you've entered will get executed. I won't be getting into that now since I don't think that will be very useful. What would be useful is having this find the value button to find the value and then save the changes or something like that. So in the next tutorial, you'll be looking at Tkinter checkboxes, which are like radio buttons, but they allow you to select multiple options. Thanks for watching.